Hey, I'm about to build a fully AI content system on make.com that automatically generates posts on Facebook and LinkedIn, starting from just a single idea and even posts it automatically. Now, this right here is the exact kind of system that I've sold to multiple businesses ranging between $2,000 to $4,000 because it does solve one of the biggest pain points for businesses in general, which is generating content. So in today's video, you're going to watch me build it step by step. I'm going to show you all the detours and the mistakes and all the problems that I have along the way, just so you get to see what an actual real development process looks like. With that being said, let's dive in. And before we dive into the actual build and you want the blueprint to import it into your own make.com account, so you don't have to build it from scratch, then make sure to check out the first link down below, which will take you to my free school community. You can go to the classroom section. You can then go to the AI Automations 101, then go to the step-by-step builds, and then you can go to the full content automation system. And you have the blueprint right here. This is the automation we're gonna build. So this is the end result. This is the dashboard where we generate the content. So let's try it out. Let's go idea. Let's do why you need to map out your automations before building them. I press this button right here, generate content. What this will do in the backend is it will trigger, so it will send it to the first AI to generate the first post. In this case, this Facebook post, and we'll wait. Then we do LinkedIn post. And again, using OpenAI, we can use Claude for content, but it really doesn't matter so long as you use an AI in general. This is the overall structure though. Then we generate an image. And for the image itself, we are using DALL-E 3, the worst model. We could use it's called ChatGPT Image 1 as of 2025, September 5th, which is today. This is the best model for images on ChatGPT. All right, cool. So we have the post right here. Put it back. By the way, it's underlined, but this is not going to be underlined on the actual software. So we look at the post. We say, hey, okay, cool. I like it. Image URL. Sounds good. Looks horrible, but it's fine. The LinkedIn post, by the way, don't look at the quality just yet. The quality comes from the prompts, but just look at the fundamental structure. So we have this free post. We have this manual step of us saying, yes, I like it. I don't like it. Let me change this part. Let me change that part. And now when we want to post it, we can press this button, which I believe everything's good. Yeah, let me press this button, post. And this will now send it this way to post it to Facebook. Which takes a few seconds. We'll download the image. It will send it to LinkedIn. And then it will update the sheet saying done. We go to LinkedIn and refresh. I can see that we put in a post with the post here and the image as well. Delete this. And if I go to Facebook, I can refresh and I have the post here. I can see that it's here. Okay, so let's dive in. Let me delete this. I want to start from scratch, from zero to hero. Let me create a new scenario. So here, all right, cool. So again, before we even start building anything, let's drop on Miro and let's go in. Go here, pull it here. There we go. All right, so how does the content system work? The content system, okay, actually let's go through like the type of like the thought process I go through. So the problem was too many businesses generate content, but they go on ChatGPT to generate content. They have no way to store the content. They have to publish it manually. They have to do everything manually, even the images as well. And everything's pretty much scattered. So how do we put everything in one place, one dashboard, so that they're able to be more efficient, generate more content, spend less time making content, and build a brand and make more money? So I thought of the dashboard. Okay, and the dashboard, as you can see, had the idea. So in this case, this would be the input. Then, and this is a bit of a weird scope because it is like we're building software in this case. So input, and then I guess, well, idea, input equals idea. Then we use AI to generate posts or content in this case. Use AI to generate image. This image is still content. Right, that's what it is. Generate image. And then we want to be able to review it. Put this as another color just so you know that this isn't necessarily an automated part. And then we want to post it. I mean, pretty straightforward, right? Not that bad. Okay, now I already mapped this out, I'm gonna be honest, because I've built this hundreds of times. And I'm gonna take the mapping out that I made, bring it here. Okay, so these are the different steps that we have within the automation. Step one is watch changes in the content spreadsheet. And I have to think through, like, I want you guys to just think through like why I'm seeing these things and understanding why we built it this way. So because I want this step here, because we want to make the content first, and then we want to review it, and then we want to post it, the automation itself is one automation. God damn, that was horrible. One automation, that's one. And then we have two. So this automation is split into two different automations. Two. Something that we haven't done before, right? So this automation has one, which is generate content. This automation has two, which is post content. So we have to build it in a way where we have two different automations within the same sort of system and them working simultaneously. Not simultaneously, but according to like whatever we press. So as you saw, we had a dashboard, right? And in theory, we have to watch if anything changes in the dashboard. Because then you go here, I think, yeah, the dashboard's right here. This is the dashboard that we have in mind. If I have the topic, I have the button. So this right here will trigger the automation that will generate that content. Then we bring it back for the Facebook post, LinkedIn post, image URL, and then we have another button. So in theory, what we have to do is we have to watch if anything changes. And then if it's this column and it's this button, then we generate the content. Then this goes to automation one. But if it's this column and it's this button, this will go to automation two. Okay, so fundamentally it's like filtering. You're filtering by what you want, where you want to send things. In this case, if it's this button in this column two, we'll send it to automation one, which is generate the content. If this button is in this column, then we send it to automation two, which is generate the content. So start to see like how we basically think about the structure that we put everything together. By the way, this right here, like I didn't come up with this one day. It was just like over time, like I spoke to a few developers. How do they build content system? How does it work? Like how should we structure it? And this is what we came up with because it was the simplest way. Because they can ideate, they can press a button, they can make the content post. They can make up content, and then they have the image as well, and then they can post the content as well. Now this right here was made, like this idea was made about 1 year ago when like any crazy software is making any crazy software is making content. So we thought, why not? All right, so now that we know the sort of overall structure of the type of system, let's structure the dashboard. So let me make a new dashboard. So this right here is a Google Sheet, by the way. A dashboard database, it's just a Google Sheet, nothing fancy. I'm gonna start structuring. So we have the idea, topic, which is the thing that is the input. Then we have generate, actually content trigger. So insert, actually no, I'll show you this later. But content trigger is like the button that we add. Then we add Facebook post. Then we add LinkedIn post. Then we add image URL. Then we add post trigger. So it's like, okay, we have the idea. Then we make the content. I mean, we press this button, we make the content, and then we get the content back, Facebook post, LinkedIn post, image URL, and we can post it. But again, I'm doing all of like this is a bit more complex. I mean, we're making it more complex because I still want the human element to it of like reviewing it. Because I feel like a lot of systems don't have that, and they're just like they're posting shit content, and that's what we don't want. Especially as someone who's been in LinkedIn for like a year now. I know what good content looks like, and I definitely don't want AI running 100% of my content. But these systems are amazing because they save you like 70% of the time. All right, cool. So enough waffling. Let me bold this. Let me make this color. Let me make this white. Go here, and now we can start adding the buttons. So to add buttons on Google Sheets, you have to press here to the column itself, insert, drop down. Right here, you have the option of what to put in the button. Let me put myself right here. So we have generate content, green. we have done. No, this is yellow, this is green. And I'll show you exactly why I'm putting done as well. I mean, I'll tell you now. It's because I want confirmation. So when we generate the content, God, wait 1 second. Look at this. I don't want this to be the first one. I want V2 to be the first one. So if I go here, press here, boom, done. Because when I generate the content, I want a confirmation when it's done, just to know that everything ran successfully. That's what I have here. Okay, the next one is post trigger. So I can go here, select the column, insert, drop down. Same thing. Instead of F1, we want F2. Boom, done. And we're gonna do post yellow, done, green. Again, we put these two options. I mean, post is the thing that actually posts it, but done is a confirmation of us knowing that it posted. And we add this, usually this next step of like updating the row to done is done once we know that all three are published to the platform. And it will make much more sense when we actually build it, but just like get the idea. So, okay, I said, how do we make everything centralized into one place? Let's have two buttons. So let's have a dashboard, two buttons, content trigger and post trigger. One is for content generation and one is for posting, right? Posting automation. And I said, okay, if we have to split the automation two ways, we have to split the automation two ways, because initially we're telling make.com, hey, whenever something changes here, just send a signal to make.com, and then we can obviously deviate to the two different automations based on like what we have to do. And again, much more sense once you actually build it. Now, let's start building it from scratch. Step one is this: watch changes in a content spreadsheet. You're probably asking yourself, how do we make sure that we can send data to make.com and then do the automations? So the answer will come in just a second. Content system. So I'll know it'll be that. I go to make.com. This is now where I believe I spoke about webhooks in the first video or in the onboarding video, I believe. If I haven't, webhooks right here. Again, this is a webhook. Is the ability or is a URL for us that we use to get notified when something happens. So when you have a form on the website, you fill out the form, you use a webhook to get data, right? When you want to get notified when something happens, when you get a call, like that's a webhook, sort of, right? Like sort of like you basically have a URL string. I mean, depending on what software you use, but basically a webhook is this thing that you use to get notified when something happens. So in this case, this is getting notified when something changes on a sheet. On a form example, it gets notified when we fill out the form. So again, this is the one we're going to use, custom webhook. And it's instant because mailhook is for emails. Webhook is for the thing that we want to use. And it's instant. So anything that happens, instantly sends the data here. Press this. When add, let's name this content system. You don't need any of this, so don't worry about this. Don't worry about this. God, this makes it even more complicated, so definitely don't worry about that. Save. And now this is the webhook that we're going to use. We'll go here and paste it. There we go. So the first part of the webhook, right here, this is fixed. Second part is unique. This is the thing that changes every single time. And this part is the one that's saying, hey, this is from make.com. The webhook in any10 is actually the same. It just says any10. That's pretty much it. Okay. All right. So now that we have the webhook, how do we connect the webhook to the Google Sheet so we know that we get notified every single time? If I press save, I can now go to Google Sheets and I can now connect Google Sheets to make.com using something called an app script. Okay, this will scare you because it looks like this. And this looks like code. You're like, wait, you lied to us. You said we would use no code. Well, I lied to you, yes, because there is some code involved. But lucky for you, I'm going to share the document and you get to follow me step by step so you don't have to write the code yourself because ChatGPT wrote this code. So let me go here. I'm going to copy this whole thing and just watch the comments that I put here. The only thing you have to change here is the webhook URL that we put here. The thing we just made in make.com. So in order to, where do we add this? We have to go to Google Sheets, extensions, app script. And then we can paste this. It's okay. And I press save. Okay, this is saved. Then I go back to make.com. I can copy this. Press save. I can replace this with webhook. Press save. Once this is done, we're not finished, because this is not how you connect, how you fully make it work. You have to go to triggers. You have to go to add triggers, watch changes, on change. Is it on change or on edit? Let me see. 1 second. Watch changes. Let's try it out. I actually don't know. We'll see if it's on edit and on change. This is just like the trigger that says, hey, we have this app script. This is how it's going to trigger. This is how it's going to work. So I'm going to go to triggers again. So we're finalizing the trigger, saying, hey, okay, on watch changes, which is the thing that we're doing, send the data. Not on open, on edit. Let's do on edit first. Leave this everything as is. This is all fine, and press save. This will direct you to here, because you have to authorize the trigger. In this case, you can put advanced. And again, this is how, I actually remember doing this for the first time. I was like, what is happening here? I didn't know that you could press this button. I thought this button takes you to like a documentation. But if you press this button, this actually takes you to another button, which you can now use to log in. That was a big discovery for me. And I hope it was for you too. Okay, cool. So now we made the trigger. We made the thing that says, hey, okay, when everything changes, just use this trigger, use that code to send the data to make.com. We have the thing here, we have the webhook. So now in theory, whenever something changes on a sheet, it should send the data to make.com. Let's see. Run once. Let's say I've changed anything. Let me just put text here. Great, we get the data. So we get different types of data. So we get the spreadsheet ID, spreadsheet name, the sheet ID, the sheet name, range A1 notation, range, which is something that we're going to use because we have to filter by what column we're changing this. The value, which is very important because that's the thing that's going to tell us what is the thing that we're changing, like what is the button or what is the whatever. User, again, who's using this, row values, which we're going to use because when we add the idea, row zero, this 0 just means 1. Because when we add the idea to make the post, we have to get the idea from here. Okay, so again, I'm a bit all over the place, but just bear with me and start to think about the way I'm solving through. This is how I think about automations in this case. We have the dashboard. Okay, we have this. We made this, so we know that Google Sheets talk to make.com through a webhook, which is great. Now what we have to do is think about how can I press this button and it triggers one way, and then I press this button and it triggers the other way. Well, this is where we press this, the router. So visually, you start to see already, okay, this is split into 2 different ways. This makes sense. And between this and the next step, there's something called a filter, something we haven't spoken about. So the filter is saying, hey, only send it this way if. Well, that's exactly what we want because we only want to send it one way if it's this column and this button, generate content. And we want to send the other way if it's this column and this button, post. Okay, and so we want to filter it by column 2 and value needs to be generate content. So let me do generate, let me name this generate content. Column start, this is like the column that we changed, column start equals to 2 and value equals generate content. Press save. I mean, actually just look at this for a second, right? Like we have column start, so column we're changing is 2 and the value that we're changing is the value equals to generate content. And text operator equals to just means that this just equals this and this equals to this. You can change it depending on what you're doing, but this is like the exact, like this is what you need. You don't have to change this. Press save. So again, same thing here, but in this case, it's post content and it's column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the button is post. Column start equals to 6 and value equals to post. Okay, press save. Okay, so now we're sending the automation 2 different ways, 1 and 2. 1 to generate content, 1 to post the content, which is exactly what we want. Now we can go to the next steps. If I go to Miro, I can see that the next step is, this was the router in this case. The next step is generate Facebook post. So we know that anything changes and it sends the data. It sends, when we press this button, it only sends it one way. Press this button and it sends it the other way. It's great. Now we can actually do the first automation. So this right here will be the first automation and this right here will be the second automation. If I go here, I can look at the apps. So which one we're going to use? We can use Claude, we can use OpenAI. In this case, let's use OpenAI. We have to use create a completion. In order to connect your OpenAI to make.com, you have to go to add, name your connection, then it's asking you for an API key. You can press this button right here. It will take you to this place where you can create a new secret key. If you don't see this, it's because you haven't logged in. But creating a secret key, you can name this and then press this button right here. Don't change anything else. And you'll get a key that you can then paste into make.com, which is here, and press save. One thing to know, one thing to remember that I don't think anyone even mentions is that this is not free. Like you don't have, like you still have to pay for this. As in when you go to your profile and go to billing, add $5 here, which will last you a long time, but just add $5 for your sake. I remember when I got started, I was like, I'm not paying for this, but you're going to use AI for a lot of the automations that we're going to build. So just put $5. I think that will be enough for whatever it is that you're doing. Okay, cool. All right. We have the API key, we connected it. Now we have this page right here. So the select method will be create a chat completion. It's asking us for the model and the max completion tokens. This is basically saying low values may cause the output to be truncated. High values may use a lot of OpenAI credits. Now we spoke about this in the email autoresponder, but this means that basically if you have low values, truncated just means cut. So if you have a big massive blog and we put like an X amount of tokens, it will cut it at the X amount that you need it to be. I think the ratio is like 1 to 4, like 1 token equals 4 characters. So do the math there and you can see exactly how many characters per whatever you're doing. Usually I would have this blank because I'm just saying, hey, use whatever you want, because when we're making LinkedIn posts, it doesn't really like use anything anyways. So it's fine. Now it's asking us for the model. The model in this case, we can use GPT, 5. Yeah, we can use that. Doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter actually. So definitely not 1 because it takes too long. 03 takes too long as well. 04 mini, we don't want to use a mini model because they're lower in quality. They're faster, but they're lower in quality. GPT-4o is usually like the go-to, but now because we have GPT-5, I think that's fine. So let's do that. That's fine. Now we have to add a prompt because this is the exact same thing that we do when we go to ChatGPT and we say, hey, can you do this for me? In this case, the prompt can either be a system, here, a user, or assistant or tool. 4 different types. In this case, we're only going to use the system and user. The system is you are a helpful, intelligent XYZ. So you give it an identity. This is very important because it's prompt engineering skills. So system is you are a, so just say this. You are a helpful, intelligent, Facebook, content, writing assistant. Okay, so I give it an identity. Why do we do that? It's because when we tell AI that it is something, it will think through, or it will like psych itself to think that it is that thing. So the quality of output will be higher based on the identity that it was given. I hope that explained it well. Then we have the user prompt, which is like your task is to do that thing. So in this case is your task is to generate a Facebook post using the idea below. By the way, you can start to see the variables that we can pull through when we add here, like the idea that it needs to use when it makes the post. And now we start adding rules. So this right here that I put is markdown formatting. It just means heading 2. Just so it's like an essay. You know, when you read an essay, you don't want to see everything in the same text. You want to see headings. You want to see heading 2, heading 3. So you know that hierarchy. That's basically saying, hey, ChatGPT, this is the title, and this is like the points. Use a Spartan, no fluff tone. Facebook. I don't know too much about Facebook, to be honest. I mean, keep it concise and valuable and insightful. Probably remove this. And the last one is only output the Facebook post. Now, why do we tell it this? Because when we say, ChatGPT, can you help me with something? Or we say, hey, can you do XYZ? The first thing it usually says isn't that thing. It usually says, yes, I'd be happy to help. Here's a link to post. Here's a Facebook post. We don't want the yes, I'd be happy to help. We only want the thing that we ask it to. So this is why we say only output the Facebook post. And then we give it the idea of the content idea. Now we can pull the variable from here. So the raw values is the row value. In this case, we have to pull the idea from here. Press the button, send this idea to ChatGPT to make the content. So as we said, column A is row values 0, okay, because it goes by zeros, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So just drag this across and put it here. This is the content idea because it is in this column. And I believe that is it. Actually, we have to re-put this here, so it knows again. So I'm very, very strict with it. And I press save. Save again. I'm going to press 2 fingers here, rename this Facebook post. I like how make.com are changing the UI, the way it looks, because it keeps changing every day. Now that Facebook post is done, we can test it. So we can, let me put Y AI, it's going to change. So in theory now, when I press this button, I mean, it already triggered because I changed something on the sheet, but now it shouldn't go anywhere. So let's actually try this. So this is saying wait for new data or using existing data because we already changed something, so it already triggered. So it's saying, do you want to run the previous data that you already ran, or do you want to wait for the new thing that changes? In this case, we can use existing data. And you see how it didn't go anywhere? Because of the fact that we have a filter. Like we stop here because you didn't meet any criteria. But in this case, run this once, and I press this button, generate content. It should, in theory, send it here. And it did. Why? Because it is this column with this button. So you start to see how I think about automations, how I think about building this sort of system. And the cool thing is that this is the actual system that I built for clients. So it was the way that I actually thought about building it. Okay, so the next is the LinkedIn post. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Shift like this, so I can copy and paste this here, remove the filter, because when you copy a module, it also gets the previous thing, which is a filter in this case. In this case, if I copy this, paste it, it will have no filter. See, because here there's no filter. But here, I just copy pasted it because I didn't want to go through the whole thing again. The only thing I have to change is LinkedIn. LinkedIn. Let me give you some other rules. So content rules. So this is for LinkedIn because I know LinkedIn pretty well. Make your hook max 40 characters per line. Use something controversial that will drive people to press read more. Make each sentence concise and valuable. And make the post tell a story over time. I'm trying to say, like, when you have LinkedIn, it's like the hook is like the thing that's meant to summarize everything. Then you have the first line in this. It's like problem, agitate, solution. So we can use a PASS framework. Actually, let me tell it. Use the PASS framework. For those of you who want to learn LinkedIn, this is what you should be using. So this is problem, agitate, solution. An example of this could be, this business had, for example, something that I posted a while back. It was like, I was struggling with my client's delivery. I was struggling with delivering clients. Problem. Agitate is, I didn't know what to do. I thought I was going to fail. I thought I was going to quit 50 times. Agitate. Solution is, then I found Notion, or then I found make.com to automate my things, and I increased my efficiency by 30%, and I didn't have this problem anymore. It's because people love the transformation. They love hearing about problems. They love hearing about you struggle. That's actually a mess up thing, but people like hearing about you struggle. I mean, actually, it's not a mess up thing. It's because they actually relate to you. So it makes sense. And then solution, which is like, how do we overcome it so we can learn from like your struggle. Okay, so this is done, which is fine. We can press save. All right, LinkedIn post, press save. Also, you don't have to press this all the time. You can do Command S. Let's see. saving all the time. Okay, so step 2 is finished. Step 3 is generate an image. I'm gonna go a bit faster here because I've already been through the whole sort of thing. OpenAI, generate image. The connection will be the same. You can use GPT image 1 DALL-E 3. I would recommend you use GPT image 1. Actually, let's do that. It just takes a while, you know. But why not? This video is gonna take a while. Okay, you see here how before you didn't see the topic, but because we ran it already, we now get to see that the topics of why AI is gonna change the world. That's the thing we're pulling through. So understand that this is why we're pulling through variables, because the first column is like has a topic. I mean, yeah, the first column has a topic. So each row, first column always has a topic, which is why we put this. Okay, it makes much more sense now because you actually get to see the topic, and this is the second row. And you press save. Let me run this. So actually, you don't have to run this once every single time. You can also go here, not double click, 2 fingers, press this, run this module only, and now add item. So saying you want to put test data. In this case, because it was column 0, column 1, we put AI automation circle community. Pick of all of the members on a Google Meets call. Let me press OK. And unfortunately, because I'm not cutting this video, we're gonna have to wait about 10-15 seconds so you can skip until you see the image. Just gonna wait here. But that's how we're gonna do it. We're probably not gonna it takes way too long. We're probably not gonna use GPT image 1 for now. But all you have to do if you want to switch it to like for you can just change the model. Everything else is the same, so don't worry. It changes nothing. But okay, now that we have this covered, the image, we have to add everything back to the sheet. Because the theory is this: we have the button, we send this through to the other side, then we bring it all back. It's like a boomerang. There you go. I told this to someone. I was like, "What is that thing that you call when you send it and it comes back?" The boomerang. So it's like a boomerang that you send this and then you bring it back, and when you bring back is like this is updated. This is here. This is here. This is here. This is still running. Where we're definitely not running this for the thing. It just takes a while because it is actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, but there's new models coming out every day, so that's a shame. They're beating them. All right. If I go to data, go +1 because data itself is. Okay, I am not gonna explain this. Actually, I have to explain this. What do you even have to? I'll explain this. Okay, so when you go here, data, the problem is that, and this was not improvised, right? Right here, we don't get a URL. So let me actually unlink this. I'll keep this. No, actually, I can't do that. Never mind. Just don't worry about that. But you basically get binary format. Usually with the other models, you get a link that you can use for the image. And so here, you have to add an extra step. I want to show you this because realistically, you wouldn't use the other models. You would use this one. So let's figure this out. And this would be a PNG, but it gives you the data in this format. So 89, 50, 4E, which represents the image. Now you can actually add this to the Google document because you're not gonna add numbers because how is that gonna transform the numbers, right? In order to transform this type of data, to a file, you have to use Google Drive. So we go Google Drive. We have to upload a file. Okay. Connect your Google Drive. Just press add, connected. By the way, if you want to know how you can connect your Gmail, Google Mail, I made a video. I believe you can check it out in this classroom section down below. Or actually, no. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this like right under this video. How to connect your Gmail account to here or your Google Drive. So you get to do that. If not, you can just use a work email, which works fine. You just have to sign in with Google. But if you have to use this, you need these two. If you have to use Gmail, I mean. So if you write for work domain, that's fine. Okay, once you have that, once you have the connection ready, you then want to enter manually or not. Select from the list, saying where do you want to store the file. In this case, we want to store the file anywhere. The slash means anywhere. And then the file is already, like, it's already mapped. So this right here is mapped already because the numbers that we got, like 0, 1, 50, 55, they are already in a file format. So this automatically maps through. So what are we saying? We're saying this. I made the image. I didn't realize that it was going to be binary format. Like, I didn't realize that the data was going to be like that. I thought it was just going to be like a URL because that's what it happens for the other models. So how do we go around that? Well, we have to use Google Drive. I know this because I've done this so many times. So that's the only reason why. And now we have to upload it to Google Drive and press save. We upload it to Google Drive, and then we have to, let's test this actually. Let's test this. Yeah, I'm just thinking through. Upload a file. And then I believe you have to get a shareable link, because when we upload the file, it's going to be in our, it's going to be in our environment. And if you want someone else to have access to it, we have to create a shareable link, I think. Get a share link. So get a share link just means, hey, make this file accessible. I don't think you can do this. Can you do it here? Convert a file. Yeah, no, we don't touch this. Let's not touch this. We'll mess up probably. Okay, let's run this. Let's run this. Yeah, let's run this. Run once. I mean, just delete this. It will run again. Yeah. Run once again. And now this will flow through the start. Typically, I would cut the videos, but because you guys are just trying to understand everything, then I'll show you everything. Because that's what I wish I knew this before. Because I didn't know we were going to encounter this. It's just like as you go. So LinkedIn post is done. We can test this differently again. We don't have to use the Google Sheet. We could have unlinked this and just put a prompt here like, hey, make an image, and then start the automation here. Instead of running this from the start. Okay, now it's going to make the image. Okay, and we just uploaded it to Google Drive. Now, if you saw the cut, if you see the cut here, it's because I just realized in my setup I could pause the video without having to cut it out later. So that's why I did that. Okay, so we uploaded the file. We now have the web view link. You see here, there's a problem, is that I can't access it. I can if I change my email, like the way I signed up, but this is my default email. So now we have to make this a shareable link. So get share link. Drag it across. Anything we need, make sure it's the same account, is the file ID, which you can get from here. So hey, get the file ID, make this available as read to anyone. Save. In this case, why doesn't it show me the actual thing? I think it's a bug with make.com right now. Yeah. If I go back here, and I go to the run that we just had, I believe we can. Yeah. Okay. I basically want the file ID that we just had. File ID. Because now I can test without having to run the whole thing again. Okay. 1 second, guys. Okay. And now I can test this on this module only for the file ID. And I get the share link. I think this is it. But you're lying. You just said we just waited 50 minutes for this. Okay. Whatever. Right, so this is the design that we just took 50 minutes for. It's fine. Let's we got a share link now, so we can basically share this with anyone. Now we bring it all back to the sheet. In this case, it's update a row. Google Sheet, update a row. Why do we do this? It's because the row is already made. We just have to update it. I believe that we have to choose not this connection. Make sure it's the actual system. I'm sorry. Make sure it's the actual connection. So this is mine, and it will be my drive, and it will be content system. one I just made, content system. I just have to get better with names, to be honest, because it's gonna come at a point where I just have all the same names and I have no idea which one to change. The sheet will be sheet 1, and then the row number, I can scroll all the way down and I can get it from the initial, because the initial one tells us, hey, the trigger came from this row in this column. So row start, put it here, and then we can start adding different things. So the content trigger, which should be this, I want it to be turned to done. So we put done. Facebook post will be done. Scrolling way down. Facebook post result here. The result is like the outcome, as you can see here. LinkedIn post result here. Image URL. Share link. Image URL. Share link. And then that's it. Save. So now we're gonna run it. Let me actually just delete this. Let me run this once. And wait for any data. Let me generate content. And the Facebook post. I'm gonna pause the video and then get back to you once this is done. And we're back. I had so much time that I even had to go get grapes and then eat. It took a while. And I'm just joking, it took like a minute. Okay, this is what you will see. If I go back here, I can now see that I have the Facebook post, the LinkedIn post, and the image. You can see. Cool, amazing. All right, let me actually format this. I don't have to, it's not like this. Let me just go this. Okay, this is cool. This is cool. It's actually better than I thought. Right, so now that we're done with this, we can go to the next part of the automation, which is part 2, which is posting. So this button leads to there, sends the information, then we get it back. There's a post, LinkedIn post, image URL. And now we can post it. In this case, it'll be column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Button is post. Okay, cool, perfect. So now the first thing we have to do is look at Facebook, because we are posting to Facebook and LinkedIn to create a post as photos. I don't know if you can actually use a Google Drive photo, Google Drive link. We'll figure it out. We'll see. Okay, perfect. To connect your Facebook, you go here, put your name, press save. I don't personally use Facebook, but I know a lot of you guys do. Press continue. Make a fake account if you want to test. Continue as Michele. And then I have the page. And the photos, I can either upload with a photo. In this case, it has to be binary, like we saw before, or I can just download it from a URL. I honestly have no clue if we can download it from a URL, but let's try, because the URL is from Google Drive. I don't know if Google Drive like I just think like the URL has to be accessible. I mean, it is accessible to everyone, to be honest, so that might actually work. Okay, let's actually try. So the link is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but because we mentioned that it's 5 minus 1, it will be column 4. See the math there? The math is mathing. And then we have Facebook post on 1, 2, 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. Press save. Okay, cool. So let's test this. Run once. Wait for any data. Let me go here. Post. I can then this should send it here. Okay, let's see. Maybe I try do a different connection. Let's see if that works. By the way, if I'm stopping, it's because my phone almost ran out of battery and my MacBook as well. Let's test this again. I'm not too sure actually. Post. Okay, I think it might be because of the URL. So let me do something. Let me do So in order for us to actually take the URL and download it, we have to use a HTTP request. So what this does is that it downloads a file from a given URL. And the URL, like we mentioned, is going to be in column 4. Now you're going to see it. Press save. Let me run this module only. I just want to test if this works. And it's going to be in column 4. Column 4. Perfect. Yes. Perfect. Okay, cool. If I delete this. Okay, now I can put it to Facebook. I know why. Yeah, that's why I was a bit scared. Because not scared, but I was worried because when you use a Google Drive link, it doesn't necessarily you can't necessarily just download it and put it somewhere. I mean, you can't send it to a platform and let it download and then put it in the platform. You have to do an extra step. So HTTP is basically like the web saying, hey, I want to take this like image, so image URL from Google Drive and download it in a way where like it's accessible to like the web in general. And then we can put it here. Choose the account. Again, we did before. The page will be my page. And now if I press add items, I can see that this is already mapped. When I say mapped, I mean like I don't have to drag anything across. This is already here. And the only thing I have to add is the message, which I find in this case. AI will change businesses, not by magic, by, I don't know what it says. Press save. And now if I go to LinkedIn, create a user image post. The way to connect your LinkedIn is to go to add LinkedIn, name it whatever you want. Press save. You have to log in. Yeah, I think that's fine. That's cool. Let's press cancel because I already logged in. I think that will work. This is already mapped as well. This is the image. And now you get to put the content. So the content is going to be in column here. AI wants to do your job, your competitors will. Okay, I don't know why I pressed that. Okay, cool. Save. Go back here. I think there's a bug. Like when you press save, it shows this, but you can just go inside and press save again. And now we can do, I'm not going to test LinkedIn. We're going to test it at the end when we put everything together because I don't want to post anything now because I already posted it. Now I'm going to copy this. This is like realistically what I would do. I would never like press add and update a row again because I already have everything configured. The only thing I have to change is I don't need this anymore. So I'm not making a Facebook post. I don't need this either. I don't need this either. I don't need this either. I just need this to be done. Which is this. Okay, this is the part where I want you to stay with me and think about it. Because if we press done here, like it only turns done when we go through this step, this step, this step, and this step. The good thing about make, well, good and bad to be honest, is that when this errors out, when there's a problem here, it will not follow through with the next steps. So I know that when I press post here, it sends it here. If after like 10-15 seconds this doesn't turn to done, it's because it got stuck in one of these. So if this turns to done, I mean I know it's success. I know it's successful. So this turns to done, then I know it's very successful. All right, cool. Let's run it. Let's go here. Let me delete this. And let me do something called activating the workflow because right now we've been running once, opening over and over and over again. But for a client, you obviously wouldn't do that. So you would turn this on, delete all data. Now you would start. So let's do why niching down. Let's do something else. Why focusing on one automation platform is the best gateway in killing it in the automation space. Let's see what it says. I'm gonna press generate content. What it should do is send it this way to generate the content. And I'm going to skip until it's done because it's going to take a while. So by a while, I mean like a few minutes or like 1 minute. LinkedIn post is done. I mean Facebook post. Now it's making the LinkedIn. The LinkedIn post is finished. Now we get on to the most exciting part of the system, which is the image, which will take us 3 years. All right, now it's downloading Google Drive and it's adding everything back to the sheet. So we go here, you can see that I have the Google Sheet, or the Google Drive in this case. And Facebook post, one platform all in, fastest path to winning in automation. Hot take, tool hopping kills profit. Year 1, I sampled every tool, Zapier, Make, NNN, PA, lot. It's actually not bad. This is a pretty, pretty decent post. Yeah. All right, cool. Okay, this is fine. And this turns to done. Let me just put this in the middle. And now I can press post. This should send it this way to download the image, then post it to Facebook. But there is an error. Why was it an error? Let's see. I actually don't know. I'm not gonna lie. Let me go here. Let me test this step. Let's try it again. I think it might be a bug as of right now. I'll turn this off and then try again. Invalid parameter. Interesting. So why was it? Usually it tells us why. OAuth exception. Like, this makes no sense. Like, I know it's because of the image, because why would it be anything else? Yeah, we were running before and it was working. This is a LinkedIn post, Facebook post. It's fine. Image URL is fine. I think it's fine, at least. Surely this, wait, if I go to guest, you can see this. Yeah. So what would it not take? I'm actually not sure. I don't know. I don't know what to do here. Let's see. Let me take this off and let's see if LinkedIn works. No data. Actually, let me just... No, let me see. Yeah, I can try again. If LinkedIn doesn't work, then it's definitely like an image problem. I'm gonna press post. It's gonna run. Yeah, then it's definitely a Facebook problem. Because if that works. What? Where is this post even going? Public feed? Am I tripping? Let me see here. Maybe it's the wrong account. It might be the wrong account. Yeah. Yeah, I think I have to. I think it might have to. Connection type. Okay, let me log into LinkedIn. I'll be back. All right. So for the sake of time, I actually found a solution, or I found the problem. The problem was that I needed to put the content, web view content link. Where is it? There you go. Web content link and not share link. So I want to do a few things. I'm gonna go here, replace this with web content link, because it's a web content link that is used when downloading it. I'm going to add the prompt, which is the idea. Save. I'll go here. I need to redo the filters, in this case 1 2 3 4 5 6, and value equals post. Save. All right, perfect. So that's settled, thank God. Message will be this, and now we can try everything together. It should show up. Let me go here. This is all good. This is all good. This is all good. Let's try it out. Let's try out the second part, which is the, wait, I believe this, do I have to change? Yeah, I have to change this. It's gonna be before. So I'm gonna try it again from the start, so you guys get to see. Let me go to the content system. I've actually never made a video before like this. That's like so raw. Not so raw because you didn't see the 5 minutes of me debugging this, but at least you got to see everything, like most of it. So idea is why AI agents are actually not good to use in an automation, and you should use a workflow instead. Okay. By the way, if you haven't watched the workflow versus agent, make sure to check the link down below. Not down below, but like the lesson down below, which is AI agents versus workflows. I'm gonna go press generate content. This should send it here. I'll pause the video and get you back when it's done. All right, it's finished, and we can go to the next part of the system, which is posting the content. I kind of like the content is not bad. Better than most of the shit that I see on LinkedIn, to be honest. You see how the hook with 40 characters actually did it? It works well, guys. You should try it. 40 characters because this is mobile optimized. Because most people are on their phones when they go on LinkedIn. Okay, post. Let's go here. Let's see. There you go. There you go. And then let's get the final thing going. There you go. You see how the good, this is actually a pretty good post. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty good post. Pretty good post. Decent post. Let me delete this. Perfect. God damn, that was a 1 hour video. A bit longer than I expected, but you got to see what it's actually like building automations. Because look at this, and then look at Miro. Like, this is the automation we're meant to build, and this is what we ended up building, because things don't always go your way. So that was a good lesson. I feel like this is one of the most valuable videos that I've done so far. So you got to see how I think. For those of you who stuck this far, you're a legend, because you got to see exactly how I think, how I not debug, because I didn't show you the full process, but basically what I did is I just basically test each step. That's what I do. And now that we're finished with the build, I hope you found value from this video. And if you want more content like these where I actually build it step by step, then make sure to tell me down below some ideas that you have around systems that you want me to build. And check out this video on the screen if you want to watch me build a fully AI automated onboarding system on make.com. With that being said, I'll see you in the next one.